Okay.
Not sure.
I think that's good. I think I was able to do it. So we can go ahead and start, I guess, whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. Everyone
Yeah?
ready? Yeah, sweet.
All right, sounds good, guys. Well, nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Ming, from Animus Esports, and yeah, wanted to give just a quick 30-minute talk today about self-awareness. That's what we're going to be focusing on. And yeah, thanks again to Chris for making this happen. And it's a great opportunity for us to share and talk to you guys about some things that maybe you have heard of, maybe a little bit that you haven't heard of before as it relates to gaming and esports. So yeah, excited to go ahead and start. And I'll start off quickly with just a little bit about myself and Adamus. So, for me, I was a psychology graduate at UBC, and during my time there, I was a VP and director of the League of Legends program. And what that meant was I was an analyst, a player, also a coach for the Premier teams there, specifically for the League of Legends teams. And I was also in charge of running a bunch of different events, community events like World's Watch Parties or tournaments or bigger club-wide events, things of that sort. And I mean, there's two photos of me in action there, and then a little bit about Adamus. So we are a performance consulting company, basically. So we have a lot of performance coaches, sports psychologists, people who have experience from both traditional sports as well as esports, going as high as the Canadian Olympic level and then as low as the grassroots initiatives that we're starting recently. And so at Adamus, our main objective is to bring our expertise from the highest levels of performance esports, and that's your Valorant Worlds, your Tier 1 leagues, stuff like that, and bring that experience to help develop more of the youth ecosystem at like a grassroots level. And that is one of my main objectives as well. And if you look at the graph on the side, this is basically just the sports and games that I've had experience with. Hopefully it picks up okay, but I was a tennis and a basketball player in all throughout middle school and high school. And then the first game I ever played was actually Hearthstone. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of that game, or maybe you know someone who
Yeah.
plays. Hopefully, I'm not dating myself too much here, but it's basically it was a really popular online card game 2015, 2016, so almost a decade ago now. And other than that, League is my main game of choice, and that's the game I've had the most experience with. I've also been playing that game for over 10 years now, so yeah. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're good. So, I guess we can now move on to the meat of our presentation here. Pause that. So, self-awareness, that's going to be the focus on this quick workshop, and that's the skill of understanding and recognizing how we're thinking and feeling. But before I try to explain any more, do any of you guys heard of this term before, or have any thoughts and ideas about what it looks like within the context of esports or gaming?
Sorry, there's just a little bit of sound breakup there. You might need to repeat your question.
Yeah, no problem. So, the focus of this today's workshop is self-awareness, and I just wanted to open the floor up to you guys. If you guys have ever heard of this term before in gaming or in any other context, and if you guys have any ideas about what it means,
Self awareness.
yeah.
Being aware of what you're doing.
Sorry,
Can you hear? Can you hear the
can
responses,
you
me?
go a little bit louder, please? It was something was picking up, but I
Being
couldn't.
aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have any idea why that would be important, like in gaming or any other context you can think of?
Like finding out bad habits and like how you gotta know the problem before you fix the problem.
Exactly. That's the perfect answer I was looking for is well, if you want to get better at something, how can you get better at something if you don't know what needs work, right? So for us, self-awareness is a skill that we teach to every client we work with, and this could be from high-ranking professionals in like different professions outside of esports. We talk to a lot of managers, uh, doctors, lawyers, stuff like that. But also for every team we work with, we always start with self-awareness because it's very important for us to recognize the things that we are good at and also the things that we're not so good at, so we're able to deal with that and adapt accordingly and formulate a plan of getting better. So, in the gaming context specifically, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all experienced this when you get really frustrated after you lose a match or you lose a round or you make a silly mistake, it's really easy to get stressed and frustrated, and that's where in the game it's really important that we are able to recognize how we're feeling in that moment and find a way to reset and sort of refocus ourselves to make sure that we can move on to the next play and not get tilted basically. So I wanted to give you guys a quick tool that you guys can use when you find yourself in a situation like that next time. I'll let Dr. Andrew Huberman explain what it is, but basically it's just a quick breathing exercise that you guys can do whenever you want. I myself do it every time I die when I play, which is a lot. But let me see if this will play, and please let me know if you guys can hear the sound coming through. Oh, wrong thing. Here.
Stress is an inevitable part of life. And if you're a student and you're serious about your studies, you're going to experience stress. That's just the reality. Now, there are many things that we can do to buffer ourselves against stress. We can exercise, we try and sleep well, we try and eat well, maintain healthy social relations, etc. But the key thing is to also have a practice of real-time stress control. That is, a tool that you can use to reduce your stress in real time and very quickly, so that if stress hits in the middle of a conversation or during in the middle of an exam, that you're able to push back on that stress rapidly. Fortunately, there's a tool to do that, and that tool comes to us from the field of science, from physiology. There's a pattern of breathing called the physiological sigh that involves 2 inhales followed by a long exhale that, at least to my awareness, is the fastest way to calm yourself down. And it goes something like this. You're going to inhale through your nose very deeply, and then after inhaling as deeply as you can, you're going to try and sneak in a little bit more air on a second inhale also through your nose. And then after you do that, you're going to do a long exhale to the point where your lungs are empty. It goes like this. Just 1 to 3 of those physiological sighs can bring you from a state of intense anxiety and stress to very, very calm. The reason for that is that your lungs are not just 2 big bags of air, it's actually millions or hundreds of millions of little sacs. And when we get stressed, we start to run out of oxygen because those little sacs start to collapse. We also start to build up a gas in our nervous system and body.
Okay, I won't bother you guys with the rest of the science there, but yeah, I just wanted to quickly get everyone to maybe take 1 or 2 of these deep inhales. Yeah, the important part is when you feel like you're breathing through the nose and you're reaching a certain point, take that little extra air in, make sure you feel the tension go into your shoulders, and then when you exhale, it should feel like your whole body is being relaxed. And like make sure you let all the oxygen out. So could we try, we can do it together? Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's do 2. Everyone do 2 together. So inhale and then inhale again, and then make sure you do a long exhale, like 5 or 6 seconds. Ready? All right. Let's go.
Good afternoon, visitors. Just a reminder that newspaper club is starting, so if you're part of the newspaper club, head to the library for an hour.
The controls on. Confiscating that again.
How could you?
It's what you're reading.
The controls.
Instruction.
Okay. Well, hopefully you guys had a chance to try out what that feels like. And does anyone want to give me an example on when they think that might be beneficial in the game that they play, or even outside of a game, any situation?
I got one.
Yeah.
You just got blue shelled.
Yeah,
Small mid.
perfect.
Don't look at me. You went through the controller across the last time.
What?
Anybody else? Remember, this coaching's for you guys.
Yeah.
You're the athletes here.
When you fumble,
Exactly, yeah. Like whenever you make a mistake, whenever you're getting really frustrated, I think I do it basically every time. I don't know if any guys play League, but every time I die in the game, I definitely take a couple of these to make sure I'm not thinking about the last play. So yeah, very helpful. And then I have a video of LeBron James doing it before a game as well, but I don't think he'll play. But basically, LeBron, if you guys know, he's been in the NBA for like 20 years now, and he still does this before the start of every game. So I think the important thing to take away is that you guys recognize it's okay to feel stressed or anxious in any different situation, any context, whatever the reason may be. But the important part, and what I hope you guys recognize, is as long as we have tools to deal with it, to turn that stress into a way for us to refocus on what's happening next, that's the most important part. Okay, moving on. So something more practical that I like to do with all the players that I've coached and that we've worked with in the past is asking a few easy questions about how you think or how you perceive your own gameplay, your identity within the game. And as I mentioned previously, how we feel about the game is definitely very important. The ability to recognize our own strengths and weaknesses. So if you see on the slide here, there are 4 questions on the top. So what do you consider your biggest strength as a player? What frustrates you the most when you're playing? And how do you usually react when something goes wrong? And then the last one is, what do your teammates say about things you're good or maybe not so great at when you play? So I want to give you guys like a little, maybe 2 minutes to think about these questions, and it's okay for you guys not to have a concrete answer, but I want you guys to at least have a little think about these questions.
Feel free to talk with the people next
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. Feel free to talk to the people next to you.
I'm in control of them.
Set of macros.
I play that so much.
Oh boy.
I mean, turn it into the office because I constantly talk.
Like, I think this was like 2,000 flights of the console. I think this confiscating each other. I think the only thing I actually is that like I don't take stuff isn't serious. Like where like normally bullet stuff is actually serious. I like actually play good. Short fuse.
Okay, I think another maybe 30 seconds. And if anyone has any answers or anything they want to volunteer, feel free to one or more of these questions. Anything is great.
Of course, you know the answer.
It's not my fault. Never is. Blame the equipment. It's never my fault.
Okay.
The little controllers do suck.
I would say probably my biggest strength is like, you know, I actually know when stuff is serious and when stuff isn't serious. I just don't care about what's actually happening. Like if we're playing a friendlies match, I don't care what happens. I'm just there for fun, and I only actually care about what's actually happening on screen. If it's like a tournament or like there's like ranking involved, or if it's something serious like there's like cash online or like a snack, you know.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great. And I think that yeah, that's a great example of self-awareness there, is you know what kind of situation, like what type of competition you're playing in. Does anyone else want to answer? It doesn't have to be the first one. It can be any question that you thought about an answer to.
Anybody want to share? You want to share? Just loud enough that you can talk into the mic.
Like question 2, I think what frustrates me the most is like when I make like a dumb mistake or something,
Yeah.
and I end up like missing it.
Yeah. No, I'm exactly the same way. I like for me, I definitely blame myself a lot when I make like what I consider to be a dumb mistake that I shouldn't be making. That's gets me the most, and yeah, that's when the physiological side we talked about earlier would be helpful. Yeah, well, I think yeah, these are some great answers, and I hope you guys know that these questions are just intended to guide our focus. Like, what are we thinking about when we're playing, and how we're feeling? Because that's basically the crux of self-awareness. Is not that you ignore your emotions or you ignore how you feel while you play, but basically understanding you're feeling a certain way and then coming up with a way to adapt and either refocus or calm yourself down and move on to the next play. And I'm sure you guys all felt this way, but everyone will have a different answer for all these questions because all of us have different approaches and attitudes towards gaming, right? And so understanding our own personal strengths and weaknesses when it comes to this and then using that as the foundation of improvement. Like, what am I really good at and maybe what I can have room to improve on in the future. So at Animus, we really believe that self-awareness is also the foundation of all the other skills that we consider to be important in terms of esports. For example, communication, leadership, being flexible, being adaptable. All these things start with us having a good understanding of where we are at now and then how we can get better for the future. And this can be something as small as like we talked about, a small fumble in the game or when we review our games with our teammates afterwards. And the goal is not to be emotionless, but instead we should use how we feel and how we're thinking during moments as signals to understand ourselves and our habits better when it relates to our gameplay. Uh, Okay, so moving forward, so how does this fit into actually getting better, being a better player? So I'm sure you guys have heard about the growth mindset in the past. Can we put our hands up if you've heard of this term, if your teachers or anyone you've known has talked to you about the difference between fixed and growth mindset?
So it looks like about half.
About half? Yeah, that's good. I think for me, when I was in middle school, high school, that was definitely a thing that teachers were telling me about the most. But yeah, I do think it's really important. The difference between a growth and a fixed mindset basically is the difference of whether or not you have belief and the confidence that you can actually get better at a skill. And especially for a skill that's more nuanced and more personal, like self-awareness, is important for us to think that, oh, like this is something that we can actually get better at. And it's not just something that, well, if I'm bad, that's it. I'm going to be bad forever. And if I'm great, like it's never going to be a problem for me, right? So having that motivation to actually believe that we can get better at something, whether that be getting better at playing a game or getting better at a skill, having that belief in yourself is very, very important. And so, as we mentioned earlier, like being aware of our own shortcomings as a player is important, but also for us that are coaches, being aware of our biases, and that's the key for getting better and improving for next time, just like it is for players. And we really think that adapting a growth mindset in combination with working on self awareness is what can lead to long term benefits in esports, but in life as well. And I think one thing that I want to leave you guys with is getting better at something is not going to be something that happens overnight. And I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but it's about the process, the journey, and it does start with believing yourself and actually convincing yourself that you can get better and like you'll definitely be better at something later down the line. And also falling in love with the process. Like, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I was stuck at a very, very low rank in League for like 6 years, and I definitely had a fixed mindset. I never thought I could get better. I thought this was just like no matter how much I played, no matter how much I practiced, this was just my level of play. Like I could never get better. But it was once I first started being more aware of what mistakes I was making and like having that belief of oh like maybe like I could make some small changes or I could get better at like very small details that could help. And yeah, hopefully you guys are able to see that as well. Okay, moving on. This is the last slide here. Just a little bit about our initiatives here at Animus and how we're looking to build grassroots esports in the community. So I mentioned at the start that our next steps for Animus is to take our learning and reputation at the top of Tier 1 esports and start transitioning to build more of the grassroots scene for a healthy, fun, and inclusive developmental pipeline at the youth esports level. And how we're going to do that is like workshops like this, like the summer camp that we ran last summer in Vancouver in Lord Byng, but also the virtual interactive programs that we're starting to launch. So we do want to blend the excitement of top level esports, the competition, with a focus on personal development, skill development, empowering stuff like awareness, how to communicate better and be better leaders. And we really believe that gaming, if we approach it with the right intention, can help build strong confidence, manage stress, and also develop healthy social connections. And our goal is to do all that in a safe, supportive, and fun environment for everyone. And if you look on the right side, this is some of the teams and organizations we've worked with and the connections we've built. And we hope that we can grow the grassroots esports scene. And finally, just a quick shout out. Our focus is right now to develop accessible, fun, and skill focused virtual workshops and building a community. So we are launching Marvel Rivals and Valorant virtual workshops based in Vancouver, but it's online. So if you have any interests, Chris can reach out to me and Caleb, and yeah, we can hopefully bring you more cool events that you guys like from here. Thanks. Okay, thank you so much. I've done a lot of talking. If you have any questions about the workshop, about what we went over, or about anything, like personal or otherwise, feel free to tell Chris, or you can just ask me here, since we still have some time left.
The chance to ask an actual esports competitor slash coach slash whatever, anything you guys want. So, any questions you got? Things you want to know about esports, how it works, things like that.
Do you have any experience with Smash Bros or Mario Kart?
Ooh, Smash Bros or Mario Kart. Yeah, so when I was at UBC, Smash was definitely one of our most popular games, so I don't necessarily have much experience playing, but we ran a lot of Smash tournaments, Mario Kart tournaments as well, so more on the like hosting events side of things.
When you were up in like really big tournaments or like really big competitions,
Yeah.
what is it really like a big like? Is it pretty easy to get stage fright, or is it like not such a big deal anymore? Like,
It is incredibly easy to get stage fright. We were just talking about it the other day, but like I don't think it's something that ever goes away. But at the same time, is the tools that we just talked to you guys about, like the physiological sigh and the making sure you maintain awareness. It wouldn't be something that we would want to teach if we didn't really believe in it. And I know that myself and all of the other coaches at Adamus and the players we work with really have used that to not confront their stage fright, but make sure we can manage our stress even at the highest levels of competition. Yeah.
What's the biggest event you've personally participated in as a competitor?
As a competitor, for me, the biggest event I participated in is probably the Collegiate League Championships one year. So that's on the national level. I competed for. I represented UBC, and well, I don't remember what the prize money was, but we didn't do very well. That's all I remember. So.
Gotcha.
But it was definitely a great experience. I mean, like when I was growing up, I never thought I would have the chance to compete like at all in esports. So, yeah.
How do you train yourself when you're going for a competition?
How do you train yourself when you're going for? Well,
Like, do you have a regimen that you keep to?
I think the important part is not necessarily like a strict regimen. I know we definitely had like team practices that were very helpful, but for myself, I get a lot of confidence knowing that I put like a good effort in practicing like individually, like my individual level. So for me, I'll have a process of sort of like looking at all the mistakes I'm making when I practice and how I can get better. So these could be anything as small as like an ability or like a few clicks that I think I did wrong, or it could be something bigger like, oh, I feel like I wasn't a good communicator when I practiced with my team today. Things more of that nature. Yeah.
Do you ever watch recordings of yourself afterwards and kind of like break it down?
I do, for sure. Yeah, if we have more time, that would be something I talked about today too, is how to build self-awareness as well. You just have to have those uncomfortable conversations with yourself when you make mistakes. That could be in game, or you felt like you weren't a good leader that day, or you really didn't, like, you let your team down. I think watching and reviewing your own games, your own gameplay is a big tool in terms of learning like why you made certain mistakes, because a lot of times it's very easy to gloss over things and say, oh, well, I just messed up. But in reality, a lot of the things are like influenced by other things that you do, like your emotions you're feeling during that moment, or maybe you didn't have the information, things of that nature. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you ever play professional Pokemon? Like competitive Pokemon?
Do I ever? Well, one of my friends who I made from the UBC Esports Club, it does play a lot of professional Pokemon. I myself never played, but I always found it very interesting, like the way the tournaments work and like the teams that people come up with and stuff. But I myself have never played though.
Okay.
Yeah, do you play? Like, I think it's really cool. Like,
Yeah, I've been starting out.
yeah.
Not good yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a really fun game, so hopefully like that goes well and you have a lot of fun doing that.
Thanks.
Any other burning questions you guys have? We still got a couple minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well.
I think that's about as much as we're going to get out of them today. But thank you so much, Ming, for coming out today and for sharing your experiences and talking to us about self-awareness. Yeah, it's super helpful.
No, yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And if you guys ever want to talk to me or to Animus about anything else, I'm sure Chris can give you our contact information. And yeah, this was really fun, and hope you guys all took something away from this. And yeah, would love to talk to you guys soon in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Hey, thank you so much.
All right, thanks. See you guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.